Hello, my first graders. Today we are working on lesson 6.4. That is page 349 in your math book. So if you need to pause this video and find that page, go ahead and do that and hit play when you're ready. All right. So the last lesson we had in our Go Math, we looked at a number and we talked about how we can divide it up and what each digit in the number means. Like 13, we talked about how the 1 in 13 means 110 and the 3 in 13 means 3 ones. And we showed that where we took 13 cubes and we said we can make a group of 10, one group of 10, and then we had 3 ones left over. Today, we're going to be looking at that again. Okay, and we're going to work on drawing them out. So it says use cubes to model the problem, draw cubes to show your work. So Destiny has 10 cubes. How can she show 110? So my first graders, just take a look at what I'm doing. There's nothing that you need to draw or write right this second. So if I have 10 cubes, okay, I have 10 cubes, I can put one in each of here, can I? Right? Because this is a 10 frame. So how many cubes fit in a 10 frame? 10, right? No more. 10 frames means there's 10 spaces, 10 cubes. So here's all my 10 cubes. Okay, they're all in my 10 frame. Now, another way that I can draw this out to show that I have 10, a group of 10, is by you making a long. So another way that I can draw that is by going like this. Okay? If I take these 10 and I put them together, so watch, ready? If I connect them, these cubes, oh, see what I'm doing? I'm just taking all 10 out of my 10 frame. I put it together and I make a big tower of them, okay? I can connect them together because this is a group of 10, okay? So when I look at this, I know, hey, here's 10. I draw that by making a long line down. That represents a group of 10. It represents 10. I'm not going to draw this out where I make the little lines. I'm not going to draw the little dots on it. I just make it look like a line. Okay, line. That represents 10. One group of 10 cubes. This stands for this. Just like, boys and girls, if you wanted to represent a person, you could do that little stick drawing, right? If you wanted to represent a person, right? It doesn't look exactly like a person, but when you see it, you're like, hey, that means a person. This right here is how we represent 10, okay? A group of 10. We make a straight line down. Sometimes we call them base 10 blocks. Sometimes we call it a long, okay? And we call it a long because it's really long, okay? Long. Okay, so that represents the number 10, a group of 10 cubes. All right, we're going to be working with that today, showing groups of 10 and then ones by themselves. So this is how do we show a group of 10. If I want to show one cube by itself, okay, and so look at my picture now. Here's one group of 10. If I add one more, okay, how will I show this one? I'm not going to make a long line because it's not, right? It's only one. So when we have loose ones like these little cubes, right, we can't connect them together because they're not a group of 10. We're going to keep them separate. We draw them by making a little square. Okay, sometimes you'll see people make a square. Sometimes you might even see them do it more, look more like a circle. Okay, but every time we have a 1, we draw a little square. So look, I have 3. So how many little ones do I need to draw? I need to draw 3 of them. Now, my picture matches how many I have. I have 10, which is this one, right? The long, and I have 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. So when I count them, remember we talked about counting on from 10? 10, 11, 12, 13, just like this. 10, 11, 12, 13. My picture and my cubes match. So that is what we're going to work on today. You don't need to draw anything on this page. I just wanted to show you. All right. On the next page, it says you can group 10 to make 110. Okay, so here they show us, just like I did on the other page, all the cubes in the 10 frame, right? And if we fill a 10 frame, that's a group of 10. We could connect all those cubes together, because there are 10 of them, to make that long, or a base 10 block. And then, okay, they're connected together. And if I was to draw that, I would draw it. Do you remember how I draw? How do I draw that? Do I make lots of little squares? No, right? I make the line a long line. That's why we call it a long sometimes. That represents 110. It's the same as my picture. See how that's that's a group of 10? That's how I would draw it. Okay, and right here it shows me these were 10 loose ones, right? There were 10 little blocks. So they were 10 ones, but then we took them, we connected them together and made 110. It means one group of 10. See how they're grouped together? We draw it like this. So now we are going to work on drawing our 10s and our 1s, okay? So remember, when we draw a 10, it's that straight line up and down. And when we draw our 1s, okay, we want to make the squares. Now they sometimes show it as those little, as a circle, but really most of the time you'll see them in pictures as the little squares. Okay, so it's okay if your squares look more like circles, okay, but they usually look like the little squares. All right, so let's take a look over here. On the leaf, we have the number 11. There's a word 11, not a number word, right? So how do we draw 11? Well, we're going to break the number up into 10s and 1s. In the number 11, there's 1 10 and 1 1. So when we look at the number 11, right, that shows us 1 10 and 1 1. Okay, then we can draw that out to show 1 10. Remember, to show our 10s, we make that long line down, and then we have 1 1. So we need to show 1 cube. So I'm just going to turn that into a square. So that, right, because this right here, this is 10 plus 1 more is 11. So we have our long and then our 1, our 10 and our 1. So here it is, 1 10 and 1 1. Now, if you look at this, see how it's separated, right? If you were to take those numbers and squeeze them together, that would show 11, wouldn't it? See, a 1 and a 1 makes the number 11. So, and one of the ways, if you're not sure, you can even look. Watch what I do to the number 11. I split it, right? Remember, the ones there only can have one number there, and I can put my TO chart around it. And I see that's in the tens place, so I have 1 10 and 1 1. Okay, so see, O stands for 1. There's 1 1. T for 10, 1 10. So that's another way that you can do it. It's just by splitting the number to help you see how many 10s and how many 1s. So here's the number 12, right? So in the number 12, how many 10s and how many 1s? Well, look at the first number. The first number is in the tens place. Well, how many is there? 1. 110. How many ones? 2 ones. Do you see how we split the number 12? Right? It's like if we wrote it. 12, 1 and a 2. So that's our tens place and our ones place. Okay, watch what I can do. I can split that number 12 right in half. Tens, ones. 110, 2 ones. Now I need to show that, right? So how many tens do I have? I have 110. That's like this. How many ones do I have? How many loose ones do I have that are not in a group? 2. So now I have to draw it. Look, 10, 11, 12. 110, 2 ones. Well, how does that look if I draw it? How do we show a 10? We make a long line. Long. Here's our 10. How many ones do we have? 2. So I'm going to make my 2 squares. I can make them like this or next to each other. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter where I stick them. They can go over here on the side. I'm running out of room. Okay. So that makes the number 12. 10, 11, 12. So let's try 13. How do we divide that up? Yeah, we can divide it in half, right? How many tens in the number 13? 110. How many ones? 3 ones. Think about of it as we write the number. Look at that number. 13. 1 and a 3. Remember, we can also divide it up if we need to. T-O. Tens and ones. 110. 3 ones. So we can divide it up. All right. I want you to draw this, right? I'm going to build it for you, and then I want you to draw it. So if we have 110, that's one group of 10, 3 ones. Here's my ones, right? My loose ones. I'm going to go like this. Okay, I want you to draw that right here. So pause, draw your picture to match. 10, 11, 12, 13. Hit play when you're ready. All right, did you draw it? Let's see, does your drawing look like this? 110 and 3 ones. Does your drawing look like that? All right, very good. So remember, tens, loose ones. Okay, I want you to try this. Look at that number, 14. There's the number 14. There's the number word 14. Okay, how many tens? How many ones? If you need to, divide up your number. Then draw your picture. What does the 10 look like? What do the ones look like? Hit play when you're ready. All right, 14. So we should have had 110 and 4 ones, right? Doesn't that look like the number 14? 110, 4 ones, 14, a 1 and a 4. Okay, to draw it, you should have 1 long and 4 ones. Doesn't matter if you put them up like this or on the side. Okay, 14, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, boys and girls, on this page, I would like you to do the first 2 problems, and then we'll stop and we'll check our work, okay? So you're going to do these 2, 15 and 16. How many tens? How many ones? Draw your picture. Okay, hit play when you're ready. Right. If you're hitting play, you're ready to check your work. Make sure you have your answers for those 2. All right, so for number 15, right, you should have 110 and 5 ones. Remember, you can put that TO chart around the number 15 if you need to know your 10s and your ones. Okay, you should have 1 long, 5 ones, 5 little ones. Your picture should look like mine. Okay, it doesn't matter if you make your ones go out like this or put them up, but they're separated. All right. Look at this one, 16. You should have 110, 6 ones. Here's how you showed your 110. And then you had the 6 little ones. One group of 10, 6 little ones. Remember, they have to be separated. All right. I'd like you to try 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Do the same thing. Go through. How many 10s? How many ones? Draw your picture to match. Hit play when you're ready. All right. If you're hitting play, that's because you're ready to check your work. All right. So let's start with 17. We'll go like this. All right, 17. So we had 1 10 and 7 ones, right? 17, we can divide it in half, TO chart if we want to. 1 10 and 7. So look, that looks like the number 17, doesn't it? 1 and a 7. Then we drew it. You should have had 1 long and 7 little cubes, right? 7 ones. Okay, remember, they're all separate. The 1 long for 1 10, 7 cubes. All right, 18. Here's our number 18. 1 10, 8 ones. Then we draw it out. There's our 1 long, our 8 cubes, right? 8 separate cubes to show our ones. Remember, the long is a group of 10. These are separate ones. Right, and our last one, 19. 1 10, 9 ones, right? Looks like the number 19. Here's our long, that's our 1 10. And then we should have 9 little cubes, 9 ones, 9 separate ones. See how they're not connected? Okay, so again, before we turn the page, remember a long is a straight line up and down. That stands for our 10, 1 10. It stands for this, right? A group of 10, and we draw it to look like this. Our ones are separate cubes by themselves, okay? 10, and then our ones. All right, we're gonna turn to the next page. If you need to pause to fix something, you can. All right, Emily wants to write 10 and ones to show 20. What does Emily write? Okay, so here's the number 20 that she wants to write how many 10s and how many ones. So, excuse me. This is a Math on the Spot video, so if you want to check that out, you can watch this as well. So for the number 20, let's think about how we write it. Okay, we can put our TO chart around it if we want to, right? We split it, TO. How many 10s are there? Ooh, there are 2 10s. How many ones are there? 0 ones. So when you write the number 20, and hey, look, that looks like the number 20, doesn't it? A 2 and a 0. So here's our number 20. There's 2 10s and 0 ones. So that means, excuse me, there's 2 10s. So remember, this is a group of 10. This is a group of 10. If there are 0 ones, do we need any of the little guys? No, because 0 means none. There are none of these. So this is what 20 looks like. 10, 20. 10 and 10 is 20. So let's draw that out. How many of those longs are we going to make? How many 10s? 2. So we're going to make 2 10s. Are we going to make any of these little cubes? No, because we have 0 ones. That means there's none of these. So our problem just looks like this. Here's a 10, and there's another 10. 2 10s and no ones. Great. Gina thinks of a number that has 7 ones and 1 10. What is the number? Draw to show your work. So there's 7 ones. So, am I drawing these or these? Which would I draw if there's 7 ones? I would draw these. This looks like a 1, doesn't it? Right? These are 10s and these are 1s. So if there's 7 ones, I'm going to draw 7 of these. So here's my 7 of them We're going to draw them out. You can draw yours too. So we have 7 ones. Make sure you have 7. Okay. And it says, and 1 10. So what am I going to draw for 1 10? Am I going to draw another one of these? Or am I going to draw this? I'm going to draw this, right? This is a 10. She has 1 10, so I need one of these. Okay, so 1 10 and 7 ones. What number did we draw? Well, let's think. What goes first? Our 10s, right? So we have 1 10, 7 ones. What number is that? 17. Okay, another way we can do that, I'll put it over here on the corner, is use your TO chart, right? We keep using that TO chart. Here's my TO chart. It says she has 7 ones, so on the 1 side, I can put 7. And 1 10. On the 10 side, I put my 1. Do you see our number 17? Yeah. That TO chart will help us with our numbers if you're having trouble. We can also count this. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so counting that also helps us. Ben drew this picture. So here's Ben's picture to show a number. What is the number? So again, we can use our TO chart if we want to, or maybe we can even just count this, right? So let's try counting it first. How much is this worth? 10, right? And these are worth 1. What would we start with? We start with a bigger number, right? We always start with a big number. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he wrote the number 15. I can also show that by making my TO chart. TO. How many 10s are in this picture? 1 10. How many 1s are there? 5 1s. And look at that. Do you see my number 15? Yeah. So it's just another way to do it, is making your TO chart. But always remember, we start, just like we've been saying all the way through, start with the big number and then we count 1. All right, at the bottom, circle the numbers that make the sentence true. There are blank 10s and blank 1s in 14. So our number 14, here's our number 14. And we can put it even down here if we want. How many 10s are in the number 14? 1, right? 1 10. And how many 1s? 4. So, and again, right, we can divide this up if we need to. TO. TO, like the number 2. T, 1 10, 4 1s. And when we look at that, that's the number 14, isn't it? A 1 and a 4. All right, so how many 10s are in the number? How many 10s did we say? 1 10. How many 1s are in there? What do we say? 4 1s. Okay, so it's just another way of looking at it. All right, boys and girls, keep on practicing.